As men, we hold a spiritual weight that demands directional intent. When culture tries to define what manhood is, it's our responsibility to reclaim who God has called us to be. At 5-Star Man, we've designed a 45-day challenge to help transform you physically, mentally, intellectually, emotionally, financially, and yes, spiritually. It will move us from passivity to purpose, from weakness to strength. Sign up for the 45-day challenge today.
There is a gravitational pull for man to remain grounded on this earth. Yet, there is also an adventurous spirit within that propels him to reach beyond. To reach new heights, a man must become wiser. Spiritually empowered, man must become stronger. Man was not made for the earth. The earth was made for man. Intended not as an anchor, but as a launching pad into his God-given potential.
3, 2, Roger Tower, 1.
To become the man intended for the heavens.
Liftoff.
There's consequences when people stop setting goals and dreaming dreams. There's consequences when men stop speaking God's plan over their children. There's consequences when men hide in caves and get quiet and stoic and turn inward. There's consequences. A lot of that is in our culture right now.
Hey guys, welcome to Five Star Man Champions live stream. I'm your host, Neil Kennedy. I'm glad that you are here. I hope that you have had a great celebration with your family, celebrating Christmas. What an incredible time. What we've done, we actually had a delayed Christmas to celebrate with our children. They were celebrating in their own homes and with their other in-laws, and then everyone was here at the house, and man, it's just amazing to have your house just full of children and running around. 8 grandchildren, one more on the way. More food than you can imagine. Incredible time, great time. In fact, it was warm here in Tulsa, and so of course we fired up the pool heater, and the kids swam, and they even jumped in today, and it was absolutely frigid out there today. But incredible time. Hey, coming up very quickly, Decatur, Alabama, the Authentic 5-Star Man Conference. It's going to be a great start to the new year. 2026 is going to build on the momentum that we have gained in 2025. God is doing something incredible with 5-Star Man, and it's really exciting to see what God is doing. In 2025, we have launched 5-Star Man Global. It's going to become a reality in 2026. We've already had, I think we're right at almost 35 to 40 languages already. Guys have given money toward that. And so we're getting the equipment, getting the software, everything that we need. We are going to take 60 videos, translate them into 100 languages. That's 6,000 videos that we're going to work toward. Derek Drawn is on here. He's going to be speaking 100 different languages to millions of men around the world with the 45-day challenge. We're going to have other curriculum, other training for Church Growth International School of Theology, training for Church Planning Institute, training for Church Growth International. And we are in talks with another incredible global network and one of the largest churches in America. We're talking about launching the 45-day challenge. And I don't want to say anything beyond that, but it's going to be incredible what God is going to do in 2026 for the 5-Star Man movement. But I can tell you this. I want, and I'm praying, and I'm expecting God to do something incredible for you. I'm expecting 2026 to be something very, very special. I'm setting my face toward having the best year of my life, physically, financially, spiritually, in my relationships. I'm determined to press toward a higher calling. And I've said this years ago, actually, when we launched the live stream. 1 year of directional intent will accomplish more than a lifetime of wandering. And so let's make 2026 a year of directional intent. So we're going to get started tonight with your field guide. Grab your field guide, grab your notes, and let's get this thing going off to a great year. And we're talking about this series that we have called Speaking the Father's Blessing. It is a book that I wrote that's not just a book that you read and you put down. Speaking the Father's Blessing is a tool book. It's empowers you with the vocabulary of prophecy that you need to speak over your children. And we're going to get into this tonight very specifically about prophesying your children's future through teaching. And it's very important that you get this. So grab your field guide, grab your Bible. Let's get into tonight. Keep the comments coming. We're live. I'm reading your comments. I'm seeing guys on here It's great to see Heath Massey. It's great to see a guy that was saved at the same time I was saved back in Porham, Oklahoma. Dan Lindsay is on here. It's great to see you. BJ Steves, always good. Paul Woods is on here. Thank you, Paul, for all that you're doing to help Five Star Man, and so many others that are on here. Aaron Mandel, all you guys that are on here tonight, thank you for being here. Jack Lee, I see you as well. So speaking the Father's blessing is where we're drawing this teaching. So make sure that if you are a financial partner to Five Star Man, you have access to speaking the Father's blessing. And we're actually replacing the older version of this teaching with this newer version. And so help yourself to that. But make sure that you have the book and you use it, because it'll give you 52 blessings to speak over your children, 365 prayers to speak blessing over your children. So it's powerful. All right, let's get into it. If you do not give your children a vision to pursue, the world will give them a fantasy to chase. It's one of the most powerful statements, I think, that I've ever written. Your children cannot stay the course of life unless you first show them the way. And teaching is the art of instruction. It's the art of impartation. It's the impression of knowledge and wisdom upon your children. I can tell you this, guys. There are still times, now that I'm 63, there are still times that I look back on my youth and think of how embarrassed I was at different times because I did not know how to conduct myself as a man. I was doing something for a man one day, and he was frustrated with what I had done because I just didn't know. And he said, "Didn't your father teach you anything?" And I looked at him and I said, "No, he didn't. He didn't teach me anything. He left me at 5 years of age. No, my father did not teach me anything." Well, it's one thing if your father leaves at 5 years of age. It's another thing to have a father in the house, but that's not engaged to teach, that you are so much of a dismissed relationship that your father doesn't engage and teach. I don't know which is worse, just leaving the house or just being in the house and not engaging to set your children up to win. Tonight, we want to talk about setting your children up to win. You want your children to advance and take advantage of the place that you start them at in life. Proverbs 16:23 says this: "A wise man's heart guides his mouth, and his lips promote instruction." Now, if you've ever heard me teach for any length of time, you've known this. The word heart is lev, and it means seat of purposes, seat of appetite, seat of passions, and seat of courage. The heart, actually, science proves that you actually have a process of thinking in your heart. It's not just thinking in your brain, but there is a stem of and a stream of thinking from your heart. And that's connected to your soul. This is the data center, but it is your heart where the soul of man actually is seated in purpose and seated in appetites and passions and courage. And it's the wise man's heart that guides his mouth. It's really the filter. Have you ever heard someone talk that didn't know what they were going to say until they said it? They don't have a partition between their vacuous mind and their flippant tongue. when you are a wise man, you speak from your heart and you promote instruction. So teaching is communicating the vision and determining the destiny of your children. So to be a father is more than just having offspring. Being a father is giving your children directional intent for their life. It is the being in the position of an author or a progenitor. When you are a father, you are prophesying your children's future. Not only giving them a heritage, but prophesying their future. So the wise man's heart guides him. And the word guide, sakal, means to be prudent. It means to be attentive. It means to make wise. It means to teach. Fathers, listen to me. You may not think of yourself as a teacher, but you need to take that role. You don't have to do it like everyone else, but you need to be able to work the process of instruction for your children. So the word picture for guide means it's like putting your hands prudently on to set the course for your child. The Bible says don't lay your hands on hastily. You want to lay your hands on prudently, and it's like taking their shoulders and giving them direction and saying, this is the way, walk in it. Let me give you an example. Moses had the assignment to take the children of Israel out of bondage of Pharaoh, out of Egypt. And Moses received a download of instruction. And when he was leading the people out of this slave mentality, he had received all of the revelation of the Torah, and he positions himself to become a teacher. But before he positioned himself as a teacher, he was just giving conclusion. So his father-in-law said, now, you're going to wear yourself out. You're not going to be able to continue to do this. The people are going to become very dissatisfied with you if you don't give them instruction. Now, listen to me carefully, fathers. Your children will become exasperated with you if all you do is give them conclusions and not give them instructions. Are you tracking with me? Give me some quick amens on the comments, because it's very important that you get this. Your children need more than conclusions. They need to have a developed process of instruction so that they can bring themselves to a conclusion. So Moses receives this revelation, but he was not imparting the revelation into the minds and the hearts of the people. So his father-in-law says, look, you're going to wear yourself out. The people are going to be worn out. Here's what you need to do. Find and select capable men from all the people. Show them what they are to do and teach them the whys of why we're doing it. The why is the purpose. What's the purpose of why we're doing this? Why are we doing this? And when you do that, then they develop understanding, and that way they can take those principles and those precepts and they can apply it into their lives. You find this in Exodus 18, verse 17. You find this remarkable. Listen, of all of the leadership books that are on the shelves of from all of the leadership gurus. I mean, we are overwhelmed with leadership books. You cannot find a more practical understanding of leadership than if you just read Exodus 18:17 through 23. Those 6 verses is the greatest leadership instruction ever received. And it was Jethro, the father-in-law, speaking to Moses, and he gives him the leadership teaching. He says, listen, what we should do is learn and teach the ways and the whys of doing things for our children. It's not just enough to give them conclusions. You need to give them instructions. If you want your child to change the world, begin by teaching them how to make their bed. Don't expect your child to ever have a grasp on change if they can't take the instruction of changing and putting in order the chaos of their own bed. It's one of the greatest lessons. There's a great discourse from a general that teaches this to graduates. And it really is the teaching of West Point. And that is, they first teach the soldier how to make his bed. You got to start with you got to learn how to shine your shoes. You got to learn how to wear a uniform. You got to learn how to stand. You got to learn how to salute. You've got to learn how to take care of your physical condition before you can ever change the world. You've got to be able to begin to put in order your world. If you want your child to manage finances, teach them to put God first before they put their stomach first. Put God first before they buy things for pleasure. Put God first, but in other words, give before you get. If you want your child to be creative, teach them to clean. I'm telling you, years ago, before I started FivestarMan, I consulted churches and nonprofits and businesses. And I taught this principle. If you don't know what to do, if you feel stuck, and so maybe you're there right now, maybe you feel stuck, maybe you're about to go into 2026 and you just feel stuck. You know what the best thing you can do from today till Thursday is clean your closet. Find a junk drawer and clean it. Throw things away. My kids were talking and laughing at me or with me or really at me this weekend about how quick I throw things away. And it's so funny because there was a package of crackers laying on the counter that weren't eaten. And I just instantly grabbed them and threw them away. And it was one of my grandkids hadn't finished their crackers. And it was just 30 seconds after they talked about and laughed about how I have a habit of throwing things away. I cannot stand clutter that is not being used. Things aren't in order. If you want to teach your children to be creative, teach them to clean. Genesis 1:1, this is how everything begins. It begins with cleaning, putting things in order. Are you still getting this? Give me some amens. If you're getting this, give me a thumbs up. Give me a like. Give me a share. Give me whatever. Teach your children the way wisdom works so they will learn, not just learn the immediate answer, but they will learn the process of making wise decisions. If you listen, You want your children to be able to have discerning thoughts and not just buy into the copy of what the world is doing. This is so vital. You've got to be able to dialogue with ideas and have dialogue and not take your personal opinion as a conclusion to the matter without hearing the whys of what's going on. Discerning and being prudent. And you can teach this. This is one of the most important things that you can do. You know, situations and conditions will change, but principles are everlasting. That's why you need to make sure that this year, 2026, you read Proverbs every day. You read one chapter of Proverbs every day. What we do at 5-Star Man is we give you the Daily Champion. When you get the Daily Champion, read the Daily Champion or listen to it, watch it on video, but read the chapter of Proverbs every single day. Why? Because these Proverbs are as applicable today as the day they were written and given to you. This is life's little instruction book to men. Read every day a chapter that corresponds with the day of the month. Determine that you're going to do that this year. And you watch what happens. The principles will get so ingrained in you, then you're going to be able to then apply them to things that you're just going to be able to understand what's actually going on. All right, here's a very important principle when it comes to teaching. Don't speak down to your children. You forget how tall you are in the eyes of a child. I did it. I can't tell you how many times. And I'm so glad that I recently started walking and getting my physical condition together, because I did so many squats these last few days of lowering my stature to make eye contact with my grandchildren. Where's the principle behind this? Philippians chapter 2, verse 5 through 11. Our attitude should be that of Christ Jesus, who did not consider equality with God something to be grasped, but he humbled himself, taking on the very nature of a man. He humbled himself. He descended so that he could make eye contact with man. God put himself in the flesh. The Word in the flesh made eye contact with man. God humbled himself, taking on the nature of a man. If God will do that for us, you need to do that for children. Squat, get down, eye contact with your children. Your stature is never taller than when you stoop to look into the eyes of a child. Lower your stature. Listen to me. You descend into greatness. This world always wants to ascend. You descend into greatness. Are you getting anything out of this? Look, to teach is to look, behold, and see the potential. I can't tell you how many times I saw my children, my grandchildren, and I have the gift of discerning. I can discern gifts. I just do. I'm the glorious ungifted. I don't have natural ministerial gifts. I just don't. And listen, I've never been accused of being insecure, so don't misread me. But I can tell you, I am the glory of the ungifted. but I have an ability to discern gifts. And I see all of my grandchildren. I see my children. I see all my grandchildren. I have an ability to discern their gift and draw upon their gift. That's my secret sauce. So to teach is to behold the potential, to be prudent with it, to turn your mind, your attention to it. Don't dismiss your children. Give them attention. Be aware and act purposefully with them. All right. I always wondered, what was it about Abraham that got the attention of God? And Genesis 18:19 says, I have singled him out so that he will direct his sons and their families will keep the way of the Lord by doing what is right and just. Then I will be able to do for Abraham everything that I promised. Did you catch that? You're not going to be able to see your prayers fully answered unless you teach your children and their families how to walk in the direction of your prophecies. What I just said is probably one of the most important statements I've ever said. You're not going to be able to see the prayers that you prayed answered unless you can teach them to stay on course to fulfill the prophecies. I'm going to say something about prophecy that you may not fully grasp yet, but you meditate on this. Meditate on this. Prophecy requires participation. Prophecy is not fortune telling. Prophecy is speaking a word of God's promise, but it requires the hearer to walk it out. It requires the hearer of the prophecy. That's why I have notes of all of the prophecies that I have received. I keep notes on these prophecies and I listen to them if I have them on audio, or I read them. I give them to my wife so that she'll come in agreement with me. And everything that 5-Star Man is currently seeing as a reality has been placed on my vision board. It has been prophesied, and I'm walking those things out. I may not understand them when I first see them, but if I will participate by being in agreement with them, I'll see them come to pass. And this is the secret that you need to understand when it comes to teaching children. You've got to give them the words of teaching in order for them to stay with directional intent. I don't know, guys. I'm telling you, you need to take what was said tonight and you need to replay it. Go to YouTube. Go to somehow. This will be put on our platform, Champion You. For all of you that are financial partners, you'll have access to all of this teaching after it's edited and posted on Champion You. This teaching could be one of the most important teachings as you're parenting children. This could be one of the greatest teachings to go over. Get the field guide and hash this out. Read it and go over it. And I promise you, it's going to be rich in your life. Did you get anything out of this tonight? I hope that you did. What a great start to the year. We're going to have a great year. We're going to have a great year. Next Monday, I'm going to be coming to you. We're going to be at a cabin spending a couple days with my son, and so my plan is to come to you live from there. If not, then I'll have a recorded version. But man, it's great to see all you guys, all the names that I'm seeing on here. We're going to have a great year. I promise you that. It's going to be a great year. 5-Star Man Global is off to an incredible start. And we're coming up to Decatur just in 2 weeks. We're going to be there, and it's going to be incredible. Make sure that you come. Danny Duvall, George Sawyer, Derek Drawn, Aaron Mandel is going to share a great testimony. I think Mark Jones is going to be there. Hopefully, Ted Miller is going to come. We got so many guys that are going to be there. It's going to be an incredible time. Bart Murphy is doing a great job helping us. We'll see you. God bless you. We'll see you soon. Wrong. That's the wrong one. I wanted you to see this one.
As men, we hold a spiritual weight that demands directional intent. When culture tries to define what manhood is, it's our responsibility to reclaim who God has called us to be. At 5-Star Man, we've designed a 45-day challenge to help transform you physically, mentally, intellectually, emotionally, financially, and yes, spiritually. It will move us from passivity to purpose, from weakness to strength. Sign up for the 45-day challenge today.
There is a gravitational pull for man to remain grounded on this earth. Yet, there is also an adventurous spirit within that propels him to reach beyond. To reach new heights, a man must become wiser. Spiritually empowered, man must become stronger. Man was not made for the earth. The earth was made for man. Intended not as an anchor, but as a launching pad into his God-given potential.
3, 2, Roger Tower, 1.
To become the man intended for the heavens.
Lift off.